the Volkswagen account when the Beetle was just getting to be a popular thing. And so he became, you know, he was doing very well and everything. But anyway, we'd meet in Manhattan and everything, and of course, we'd be in trouble up in Yorktown Heights because it was maybe 11 o'clock at night, and one night it was too late to get a train, so we stayed at my mother's nice little apartment in the Bronx. And in the middle of the night, I called and said to my wife, I'm working on a homicide.
Very nice.
But Donald called and said, I'm meeting with a client. We all have our excuses. But I stay at my poor widowed mother's apartment. And in the middle of the night, we get woken up. There's a fire in the apartment. And what happens is, we jump up and everybody's yelling, there's fire. It's like 4 in the morning. There's a fire, and it's like a 5-story tenement in the Bronx there, out there Avenue. And so I don't know where to go, and I say, well, wait a minute, I'll go out in the fire escape. And I went on the fire escape, and I ran down and lowered the ladder and got down into the street. Uncle Donald's still up with my mother. And I yell from the street, save my mother. And they were up there, both of them, with rosary beads, saying, swear to God. Well, we got out of that. Thank God for the NYFD. But anyway, Donald and I went through. I ended up now, we got married, and we were living in the same neighborhood and all. But
Uncle Luke, tell him how Donald bought the house.
Yeah. All right, that's about the... Is he a heckler?
He's a scriptwriter.
So what happens is, I'm a young cop and everything, and the babies were starting to come along awful fast. I had 3 in about 3 years or something. I married a Bronx Irish Catholic section.
Yeah, that was money.
You didn't know. Who knew? Yeah, I always said the BIC was somebody that even you thought a little marriage ceremony on Saturday morning would change things. No. Still couldn't touch him. But anyway, I went for this drive with, I had 2 kids, and my wife was pregnant with the third, Michael, sitting right over there. And so I went for, we just used to ride around Westchester County and everything. And all of a sudden we see in Yorktown Heights, New York, I didn't know where it was. And it was a model house. So I went into it and looked at it. And my wife came in and she said, oh, I love it. We got to have this house. The family's getting bigger. I said, I haven't got 2 cents to So she talked me into writing a check for $50 as a deposit on the house. Not a deposit, a good faith thing, on the house. So I go back that night. I go back to the Bronx, and Donald, who lived nearby, a few blocks away in the Bronx, I called him up and said, hey, Donzie. I said, I bought a house. He said, you bought a house? He said, where? I said, Yorktown Heights. He said, where the hell is that? I said, it's north of there somewhere. And so he said, are you off tomorrow again? I said, yeah. I said, buy me one, Don. So So I went up the next day, and all it was a map because it hadn't been developed yet, and you put pins in the map. So I took a pin, and I already had my pin in, but I moved it 2 houses away because I didn't want to hear our family arguments.
Which we did anyway.
And then started the saga of Yorktown Heights and 40 years of fun, and our families got close, and everybody, it was a wonderful.
Yeah. But Dad, tell the grandsons about Uncle Eddie, you, and Uncle Donald going to the Super Bowl in Miami.
Oh, yeah.